Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel for this Tuesday morning, afternoon or evening across the world where you may be at. It is currently 4:32 p.m. here British time. It's just finished raining outside, which I luckily just about got caught in it. But today I want to talk about autism and vulnerability, and especially in relationships or friendships. I know I've covered friendships before here on the channel, but not really relationships. So I want to talk about vulnerability because this is something that has come up on my radar and I've experienced a few times, and it's a topic that I've kind of been hesitant about explaining because it's a topic that people might think I'm trying to be controversial or that I'm trying to label people or judge people. I'm not. This video is just a basic experience of what I've gone through, what I've witnessed, and today it was brought up in conversation when I went out with my dear friend Andy Ollie for lunch, and we touched on a few points. So I thought, you know what, I'll go away, I'll think about it, and I thought, you know what, this warrants a video. This is a topic that should have been discussed way before now. I hope everybody is doing well on this Tuesday, whatever you may be doing, because here it is the evening time now, so I'm just, kind of relaxing doing this video. So recently I want to talk about vulnerability and being vulnerable in relationships or friendships. And recently I've had a lot of people who tell me that I'm vulnerable or that I appear vulnerable within relationships, and that is really starting to agitate me somewhat because I'm not vulnerable. I know right from wrong. I know people who are helping me, supporting me, believing in me, being my genuine friends, family, and I know the difference between people who are trying to stab me in the back and trying to say they have my welfare at heart when they don't, and they say, oh, it's because you're autism, you're vulnerable. Let me call it out as what it is. That's bullshit, and they know it, and it's just stuff I don't really need going on right now. I'm not a vulnerable person. I can defend myself. I'm a woman. I've learned my strength. I've learned to stand up for myself over the years. Yes, I may appear naive or a touch vulnerable, or you might think I'm some easy fool to be taken advantage of. I'm not. And as an autistic woman, being vulnerable to me can be a gift because it shows that I'm willing to be compassionate and make friends with people and help people and learn more about them and put myself in their shoes a bit more, rather than basing it on my own black and white version of how things should be or how I want things to be from my own perspective. And being vulnerable means that you're opening to communicating. It means that you're open to listening. And being vulnerable to me has taught me a life lesson of respect. It's taught me a life lesson of growing up, because I've certainly had to grow up quite quickly over the last few years. I've had to grow up and learn to listen to people and learn to listen to myself, because I've pretty much grown up as a young adult instead of being a child. So I've pretty much grown up in my future flashing before my eyes. And I've realised that I do have some weaknesses. Like, obviously, a lot of people like to pick on the fact that my eye contact sucks. And yes, you may have a point with that, but I'm autistic and my eye contact is due to my autism and the fact I struggle to look at cameras and screens for prolonged periods of time. So I want to talk about that. And I guess also I'm guilty of putting too much trust into people. I don't realise sometimes that some people are having bad intentions towards me, or that they want to hurt me or discredit me or make me feel worthless and shameful and like I'm not someone who deserves to be trusted or spoken to with respect or with dignity. They just see the label and want to mistreat me and treat me like I'm some disabled, mentally ill person when I'm not. So that really does upset me, because I do put a lot of trust and hope in people, and that has backstabbed me, unfortunately. So that has made me cut down my social circle and cut down my trust with people in general, because I've just not been able to cope with it or understand why they wanted to do that to me. This was a topic that was brought up today as well, and I've realised that I need to stop kind of assuming that all people are bad or all people are negative, because they're not, and I need to let some people into my inner circle, my inner friendship ring. And that was pointed out today by Andy. But again, I am very wary about that because of all the hurt and stress and pain that I've had with being bullied in the past, judged, labelled, made to feel like I was a freak, or made to feel like I was some kind of idiot who isn't trusted. But yeah, I want to talk about this because love and emotions and vulnerability is a struggle, and everything in a relationship is complicated. So it's the way that we present ourselves, the way that we communicate, the way that we say things, do things, overreact, underreact. I wish I could understand my own thoughts, feelings, emotions, because everything is heightened for me. I wish that other people, other neurotypical people, could better understand me for who I am, how I communicate. I guess they communicate with me so well because I mask my struggles to such a strong degree that I'm able to cope better, I'm able to function better, I verbalise myself better, I appear like I'm not struggling, and that is the downside of being autistic, because I function so much that I literally come across like I'm absolutely fine, like nothing's triggering me or bothering me or overstimulating me, and that's just simply not the case. I learn to protect myself and stop myself from getting overwhelmed and overexhausted to the point where I can't function or shut myself down and needing to self-regulate. And because I'm so highly functioning, people think that, oh, Gemma, you're fine, you're absolutely fine, stop stressing, stop panicking, like, you know, there's nothing wrong that you need to worry about, like, chill, just ride with it, just go with it, you know. And that does not work for me, like, that does not work for me at all, like, it really doesn't, and it really upsets me. But today, again, I've learned to relax, I've learned to shut myself off for the day, I learned to just let my brain relax, let my body relax, let myself just be like, oh, because I needed that shutdown time, I needed that cool down time, I needed that self-regulation time, because Andy understands what it was like for me to be like that. It takes me a while to shut myself down and let myself re-regulate and get myself into a place where I'm safe and not anxious. And he's really good at understanding my body language. He knows what it's like for me to function and to do all the sensory issues I deal with, the chronic anxiety that I deal with, and he makes sure that I'm safe. He makes sure that I've got a taxi there or a taxi home. You know, he knows in the past that people have manipulated me, and it's made the relationships I have with people traumatic and caused quite an issue with my trust with people. So again, I've grown stronger over the last 9-10 years that I've known him, and he's really helped me come out of my shell better. He's really made me feel less insecure, less like I'm a damaged person. So yeah, that's another thing that I wanted to talk about in reality to autism as well. Yes, I want to touch on insecurity because I have had my inner doubts, my inner demons, as people want to say. And Andy has kind of helped take that away. He regulates me, he validates me, he believes in me, he understands what my struggles are. And, you know, my autism does make me different to society. Yes, it does. I have a neurodiverse or neurodevelopmental disability, as people call it. And, you know, that is obviously important. It is going to play a key part in my relationships, how I see the world, how I function, because I have to deal with a world that doesn't want me, that I don't fit in, that they hate me, that they judge me, they see me as weird or broken or sick or damaged. And some people that I'm friends with don't. They see Gemma for Gemma. They see me as their little Gem, the Gem that's kind and considerate and caring and listening and empathetic and cares about you and likes hugs. And, you know, so they get me. They understand my vulnerabilities, my strengths, my weaknesses, my communication. They know what it's like for me to take time to do these videos, because I have to plan everything. Everything has to be planned and scripted, and, you know, I have to learn to cope in a world that doesn't want me to cope or doesn't want me to be in it. So I have to learn strengths and coping strategies to be in it, you know. And obviously being in crowds over time has been less of a trigger, but I still do get overstimulated with crowds and big spaces, and it can really send me down into a social meltdown, which has taken me years to get over. So that's another topic I want to touch on this video. Being vulnerable has also taught me to share more of my life experiences and be true to who I am, to trust people more often, to let them into my world so they can see what it's like to communicate with an autistic person. Being vulnerable is based on two sides: trust, honesty and respect on both sides of the relationship or friendship. I feel that I'm now very lucky, slowly, that I can trust a few people that I let into my social circles, and that I'm able to open up and feel like I'm not being judged or criticised or made fun of or labelled. And over the years, I felt safe, I felt legit, I felt like I can communicate in a way that is easy for me, and I don't feel like I had to put this fence up as much, because I can let people know that it's okay to communicate with me, that it's okay for me being the way that I am, it's okay that I can function the way that I need to function, to self-protect myself. But yeah, that's kind of what I want to talk about. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this little topic of what I want to say. It's just something that is important to me and important to the neurodiverse community, the autistic community, the disabled community, mental health community, the neurotypical community. And yeah, I just want to talk about this because it's a passion that got brought up in the conversation I had earlier. And yeah, I hope this has better helped you to understand me and my way of communicating. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.